Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Ame No Marginal, Rain Marginal. This is Izeiya here from Shugosha TV, and let's get a move on with Mistress of the Rainy World. Today, the rain also continued to fall without end. It was around when the dark night was beginning to change into bright white. I stood up from the bus station bench. It was something that I had put here the other day, something I picked up from the river. Normally, I would have started the day by crushing my throat, but today there was no need. Without any hesitation, I took one step outside the building. And slowly the rain continued to fall. However, I did not get wet, because somewhere far up in the sky, the drops changed their course and were thrown somewhere else. If I wanted to, I could probably turn the puddles at my feet to steam in an instant and make the fly stones dry. Without even concentrating, which was a simple thing to do. I looked up at the white sky, and then took a big breath. Words for whatever was probably above that sky. The first voice I've made in 300 years felt somehow different from my own. It seemed like it was from a person. Even if they had returned to nothingness, my sister and numerous priestesses who became sacrifices were with me. I declared to the sky, at the one who was supposed to be watching from above the clouds, at the one who sealed me in this world of eternal rain and nothing but horizons, and maybe complete the atonement. To the omnipotent one with the power of miracles, I cast my declaration. But there was no reaction. Steadily, rain just fell. Hollowly, my voice is reverberated. As always, in the world of only one person, the pitter-patter of rain continuing to fall. Since the day I had come here, eternally without end, only the sound of rain reverberated. Along with my shout, I gathered all the water in the area to one point, and then stretched it up into the sky. There was a spear of water, stretched as if it would stab the white, raining sky. Piercing the clouds far overhead, a high-piercing sound came as the air broke the speed of sound. This time, before I finished speaking, our tornado twisted to life. Right now, I was not the perilous child like when I had arrived here. Especially since I had freely obtained knowledge from the real world the past 300 years, there was no comparison to now. Even if I were unable to overcome a god, it was my every intention that I wouldn't be so weak as to be ignored. I squarely faced the structure that I had just been resting in. I smashed a giant pillar of water into it. With a rumbling sound, a piece of the large roof began to collapse. I destroyed the thing that had been in this world from the beginning, the soul building, even though it was the only place that could shelter from the rain.
どう？これでもう雨もしのげないわね。
I laughed teeing with self-mockery. I was assuring myself what I was trying to do. Everything was meaningless. Even though by tomorrow, everything will be back the way it was. Even though I knew that myself.
ねえ、どうする？罰するの？一人で職王も成し遂げた。これでも負の者に対して。別にいいわよ。今以上の罰があるならね。ほら、早くやりなさいよ。
Alone. No matter where you go. And so it was a world of just one person. And hollowly, only my own voice reverberated. Eternally, without dying, nor even aging, already obtaining powers that were inhuman. And yet, the mistress of the reading world had no one to sing her praises, nor give her counsel. However, just the rain. Only the tears of the rain are raised.
何か答えてよ。もうこの世界は嫌なのよ。雨の世界の主の座は返上したいのよ。
The harsh voice I had raised had settled. At some point, it had become a thin pleading. And that weak whisper was also erased by the sound of the rain.
もういい。もう誰も何も信じない。
If he wasn't going to do anything, I had no choice but to act myself. With that whisper, I headed to the river. The place I was headed I had once called upriver. At one time, it had taken an extraordinary number of years to arrive, but for me, now I arrived in an instant. The place that I had been at in centuries, the entrance hall. And like I had seen that day, it was spitting out numerous things from the real world. I recalled that, once, I had carelessly put my arm in and everything past my wrist had disappeared.
私にはここしか思いつかない。
Here, meaning a place to die. In this world, it was the place where the possibility of dying might exist. For the exit hole, I was thrown back and was unable to enter, but for this entrance, I was able to put my hand in. However, it had simply been annihilated.
もし死ねば、またお姉ちゃんと会えるだろうか。
With that final murmur, I took a few steps back, forgetting a running start. Building up some momentum, I hurled my body into the hole before me. Throughout my body, a burning sensation spread. It was a pain, but heat. My eyes could see red, then it became black, and finally everything was white. In my fleeting consciousness, I thought I could see something resembling the rainy sky up above. How much time has passed? Days? Months? It could have been decades. I awoke to the sound of rain striking water. At some point, I had been drifting on the river and lost the shore.
どうやら死ねなかったらしい。
To be precise, I had died and came back to life, and was brought back to life probably. I had held the faintest of expectations for that place, but I suspected that was not allowed in this world.
反省するまではどこにも行かせない。何もさせない。
And dying was forbidden. That was probably what he intended. And that was why no one came here. He probably planned on keeping me in this world of rain forever.
わかった。もういい。もう誰も来なくていい。
I looked up at him and muttered,
私を永遠にここに留めるがいいわ。
However, for my part, I will not forgive you.
その受けた罰の分だけ理不尽な運命を、姉の無念を、私の無念をも合わせ、いつしか呪いへと変えてみせよう。
And for a few years after, I spent it watching the real world. Days spent down the river, peering at that exit. It had once taken me a few centuries to come here, but now I was able to arrive in moments. Most likely, with the powers I had now, it was possible for me to go to that far shore or even to the ends of this world. But now I couldn't bring myself to want to do that. What would come of it if I checked? The one above the sky was just faint ignorance. That was my only gaze at the real world from here. Watching a number of generations, reading people's hearts, sometimes I would watch a single person grow up.
でもそれだけのこと、私は見つめるだけ。
Forever without aging, in a 10-year-old's body, someone forced to spend endless time with endless life. Even though I had knowledge surpassing humans and can even use magical powers.
雨の世界の主、このたった一人の世界にとらわれの身。
There was nothing more, and nothing less to that existence. My existence in the separated world was the same as nothingness.
そう、無と同じ。
When I wound up putting it into words, tears overflowed. Even though I had thought I had forgotten how to cry. The large drops of tears once again disappeared into that exit hole. They were the singular proof of myself that I could live in the real world. After that, I kept on crying. There was nothing else to do, nothing I could do. Just continue to cry while being soaked by the rain.
もしいつの日かここに誰かが来たらどうなるのだろう。
When that day came, would I really chase them away, or would I choose to return back to the real world? I was sure that with how I was now, if I were returned to the real world now, I wouldn't die. I was even confident that I could return without losing my memory. And yet, The desire that someone will soon come, and the desire that someone not come were half and half.
こんな時お姉ちゃんだったら
My sister, living an unfair, unfortunate life that quickly ended. Even though she had been cheerful and kind, with a cute voice, and had believed in the gods to the very end. If I were my sister, would I be able to be more true to my feelings? When the area had completely turned into night, for that voice, I didn't really have anything to reply with. I slowly raised my body and sat on the bench. When I did, as if for perfectly natural, that person sat next to me and directed a slightly worried face at me. Considering the time remaining, this was probably the final conversation with this person. And even when I understood that, the words that came from my mouth were,
まだ帰ってなかったみたいね
in my usual way of saying things, I just brushed it off like that.
じゃあもう時間がないから行くわよ 帰りたいんでしょだったら黙ってついてきなさい
Saying only that, I went ahead and ran outside. In the middle of the rain, I could see that he was following behind me. Even if he didn't use words, I could read his thoughts. He made a somewhat sad murmur. In the time he had left, he seemed to be thinking of a way to have me return also. He seemed to feel sorry for my daytime self. Instead of worrying about his own return, he was worried about me, the one being left behind. Them indicating that umbrella in my hand and the shoe, both things that he had fixed for me. With just that, I ran out into the rain. There should only be a little bit of time left. If I let my guard down now, I wasn't sure I could send him back. Once again, we came before the elevator. I struck the call button. In the darkness, the interior of the elevator shone brightly, the door to the real world. And once I send this person back, it will once again disappear. Once again, I will become the mistress of a world with only one person.
もう時間がないから黙って言うことを聞いて
I declared to the man in front of me. I had no intention of taking any questions and had just one thing to say.
早くそこから帰ってちょうだい いいから早く帰って
Without intending it, my voice grew harsh. At this rate, my heart wouldn't hold up.
嘘に決まってるじゃない
was exactly it. After a few hundred, no, after almost a millennium, a new person finally came here. Essentially, that meant that the ones above the sky finally accepted that I'm sorry. And also were demonstrating that it was fine for me to return now. However, that's right. I was the mistress of the rainy world. In existence, in this world of only one person, who was internally called upon to repent. Even if the one above the sky has decided that I have repented, I alone must not accept it. Even I knew that being in this place was the same as being nothing, just internally being rained upon, with no one ever knowing, continuing to cry. But if I accepted things, then this injustice, my sister's regrets, they would all become nothing. That was why I would not repent, would not forgive, as I resolved in my heart. I'm sure that right now, my heart had been just a bit weak. I was just thrown off by the first person to have finally come. After this, no matter how many people come here, I will show that I can send them all back. Eventually, with him standing in front of the elevator door. Saying that, he took off the other shoe he wore and offered it to me. Grudgingly, I put on the matching shoe. I didn't need it myself, but my sister, Ren, would be happy. That's right. Sis is different from me. Bright and cheerful, honest, someone not suited to this place. Saying that, I tried smiling. Enough that even I thought it didn't seem like me. I managed to say in a cheery, big voice. And so, I sent back the first person that came to this place. I had no idea when the next person would come. It could be another few centuries. It could even be that no one would ever come again. Even if someone did come, eventually it would just repeat like this. I have no regrets. I have no regrets. That's how I decided to think about it. But I hope she gets out of that world. God, this is too much. Anyways, I'm sorry. Thank you guys for watching. Ame No Marginal, Marginal Part 10, I think. Oh god, I can't even. I'll see you guys in the epilogue, the next part. Till then, see ya.